This is KG5 FRQ listening on the South Coast Reflector. KG5 FRQ clear. Yeah, Whiskey Zero, Sierra Victor Hotel. Hear you out there. Just listening myself.
In 10 minutes, we will be connecting to the All Nodes net. Get ready for the all nodes net here on the South Coast Reflector in 5 minutes. Welcome to the WA5AIR repeater located in Conroe, Texas. For more information, go to southcoastreflector.com. Okay, we will be connecting to the all nodes net here on the South Coast Reflector in 1 minute.
Good evening. The time is 8 p.m. Weather conditions: sunny. Temperature 77 degrees.
Good evening. This is the All Knows Net on the W6EK repeater. I am Tom, 6H. I am your net control for tonight, which is May 26th, Memorial Day. So happy Memorial Day to all those out there in remembrance of our fallen soldiers. This All Knows Net is on every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time, which is 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk about all things node-related. It started out as a clear node net, and kind of evolved to All-Star, D-Star, IRLP, or anything else that you may want to talk about. Pi-Star, anything, even the M1KE, the mic, is included in that, the hotspot. All right, let me go through here. There is an announcement here that I will mention from Node Ventures, because a lot of people here have clear nodes. And those that have Node Ventures have a clear node with ALS3. There is a issue with that in terms of the disconnect before connect feature. I guess because of some change they made in the ASL3 build, that it does not make that function work. So I guess All-Star Link is working on that, as well as Node Ventures. So look for an update there soon. But just realize the disconnect before connect may not work on your clear node if it's running the ASL3. All right, as we generally start out here, we do looking for new people to this net. So if you're new, or maybe you just got a node or something like that, and you want to check in first, we'll open it up for that right now. This is Tom and N6H, who's out there who may be new. All right, hearing nothing there. I also want to mention give a shout out to Ray KF60JE, who normally does the net control for the All Knows Net, and he is recuperating with a medical issue. So we wish him a speedy recovery and hope that he can return soon to doing net control duties here. All right, I'll open up here for any topics or questions for the All Knows Net. This is Tom and N6H. Okay, nothing heard there. Can I get a radio check from somebody to maybe N2DYI or somebody, making sure that I'm making it through here?
Just kind of good over here on the South Coast Reflector, W0 FT8.
Okay, yeah, I got a response from
nobody comes up with any topics
there.
tonight.
I also see
N9OIG.
N9OIG. N9OIG, did you have a comment too?
Only this comment that this is going to be a very short net if nobody comes up with any topics tonight. N9OIG.
Very good. Well, thanks for both of you for coming back and at least acknowledging that I'm getting out here. Yeah, when you start talking and nobody responds, you kind of wonder, okay, is something going on here? All right. Yeah, this may be a very short net here. Maybe we can talk about other things. But, yeah, who's out there that may want to have a topic or a question for the All Knows Net? Come now. This is Tom and N6H.
Kilo India 5 Whiskey Uniform KI5 WW Lynn in Houston.
Good evening, KI5 WWU Lynn from Houston. Good evening. Do you have a question or a comment or something for a topic for the net tonight?
Good evening and happy Memorial Day to everyone. I have a question. I have a clear node, and when I got my clear node, it was my first amateur node, and so I got an All-Star, it's All-Star Link 2. I've got the 5-digit All-Star node number. Now I'm trying to add on a couple of other nodes, and I understand that I need to the All-Star node number extended, I think is the phrase, and I've looked at it at this. Let me reset. So my question is, since my clear node only has the 5 node number in it, I understand that I'll need to change that to add the 6-digit, likely a 0. And so I'm curious as to how I make that change in the clear node software. Does my question make sense?
Yeah, Lynn, it's actually a very good question, and I don't know the answer to that. Typically, the node number and all that stuff is tied into Jerry's server from Node Ventures. So, the easiest thing to do would just be to send off an email to Jerry, say this is what I'm going to do. I mean, a lot of people have done that, and I don't know that you can edit your node number yourself. It may not register if you do that because it all registers through the server. But that would be my suggestion. Let me open up here for anybody that maybe has a clear node that has extended their node number. What was the process going on? Come now, NN6H.
N6DAI, Dwayne.
Yeah, good evening, Dwayne, N6DAI. Go ahead. Yeah, N6DAI. Go ahead with your comment.
Are you receiving me now?
Yes, I'm receiving you now. I didn't hear you after you give your call sign.
Okay, let me try it again. This is Dwayne, November 6, Delta Alpha, India. Thank you for doing the net tonight, Tom, on this holiday. I recently got a second clear node. I just went in on both clear nodes, and everywhere that it had my regular call sign, I changed it to the extended numbers, and that was all it took. Back to you in the 6DAI.
Okay, very good. Then it sounds like it does not require anything with Jerry's server. Then that it probably has a registration number that's probably different. All right, very good. Well, there's your answer, Len. You just go in there and edit the app to do the call sign or do the update on the node number, and it should be done. The KI5WWU NN6H.
Thanks for the responses. This is KI5WW. May I follow up with, was that using the iPhone app? I wasn't able to get one to highlight today. I tried that myself, but was that iPhone or was that some other Android mechanism? Back to you, KI5WWU.
Yeah, K2COP. I saw you key up there, but your audio was really just a lot of garbled. Dwayne, why don't you go directly to Len, and maybe you can maybe locate him where you've changed things.
This is Dwayne, November 6, Delta Alpha, India, returning. Hi, Lynn. I was able to just go in and click on it and add the extension on the regular call sign. I seem to recall you had to do it in one place in the All-Star setup, and then also one place where that little gear symbol is in the upper right. And on that list, there's also a call sign in there. So I just looked for call signs in the various setup pages and changed it wherever I saw the old 5-digit number. Do you understand?
appreciate it, and we'll give it a go. Thanks for your help, and back to net control. KI5WW.
Okay, very good there. Thank you, Dwayne, for providing that. I assume when you mentioned call sign, you actually mentioned that you were actually referring to the node number, not the call sign, correct?
Yes, correct, Tom. I meant node number, and it was the iOS app that I did it in, so it worked just fine in the iOS app. Back to you, N60AI.
Okay, very good. Well, thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, it should work just as equally well in the Android app. I guess the real thing there is that you don't have to go back to Node Ventures to have them change that it can be changed locally. So that's actually good to know. But I think also to Len, if you have a problem, to just email Jerry and he'll help you out there. He's very good on the customer service. We've had a lot of good reports here of him, users and taking suggestions and all that stuff. So he does listen to this net too. All right, and let me go back to K2COP. I know that you keyed up there and your audio was really garbage. So you want to try it again, K2COP and then 6H? Okay, nothing heard, so I guess not. All right, all right. This is Tom, NN6H. This is the All Knows Net, and I guess because this is Memorial Day, maybe this is going to be a shortened version of it. Yeah, a lot of people are out there maybe barbecuing and doing things around. So anyway, it is what it is, and we'll take as many people that want to check in. If not, we'll cut things off early here, but want to give people at least a chance to ask questions or make comments. So who's out there? This is Tom, NN6H on the All Knows Net.
Kilo, India 5, Uniform Alpha, Cyrus, Rye, Texas. No traffic.
All right, KI5UUA coming through on the WA5 AIR South Coast Reflector. Good evening to you. Anything for the net this evening?
KI5UUA. No, I don't have anything for the net. I just listening in. Thought I'd chime in.
All right, very good. Well, at least nice to know people are out there listening. Let me look down here. According to my, on Supermon, I have 70 nodes connected, so we have a lot of people listening, not many talking. So anyway, well, thank you for checking in, and we got you. All right, who else is out there for maybe we just take check-ins, or if you have something for the net, come now, NN6H.
W0SVH, just want to say thank you for all the brothers out there that have give up the actual sacrifice for our country and for the rest of us. This is what this weekend is all about, the ones that didn't come home. And that's what I want to pass on tonight. W0SVH, Sean over here in Anderson, Texas.
Okay, very good, Sean. Yeah, W0SVH. Well, yeah, I definitely second that, and yeah, we definitely want to thank everyone that has served, and also for those that were not making it home. All right, very good. Well, thank you for those words there, and that's what this day is all about. All right, and there was also an RF station just before Sean checked in there. RF station, you were just nothing but noise there, unfortunately. I saw you just barely coming in on the mountaintop repeater or voter receiver. So I don't know if you can move the location, increase power or whatever there, but I want to mention that you were just not making it. Who else is out there for anything else for the All Knows Net? This is Tom, NN6H.
Juliet 7, Romeo.
November 9, India Sierra Uniform, Jim, Evansville, Indiana. No traffic. Happy Memorial Day, or solemn Memorial Day, I should say. N9ISU.
Okay, Jim. Yeah, I got you, and I also got RNB there. But so, Jim, I got your. Can you come back on your call sign one more time? K9. I didn't get the rest of it, and I do echo your sentiments there.
The call is November 9, India Sierra Uniform, Jim in Evansville, Indiana.
Okay, very good there. Yeah, November 9, India Sierra Uniform. Yeah, you're coming through on the KC8 GEF, I guess, repeater or system. So that's why I wanted to do that. Okay, very good. Well, thank you for your kind words and your comments about today, Memorial Day. And then I had also, who checked in at the same time, was KJ7RNB. Good evening. What do you have for the net?
Well, good evening. Steve here in Henderson, Nevada. I've had this come up a couple of times, and it just came up for me now, so I thought it would be appropriate to talk about. When I went into the ClearNode app and opened up the node setup in the All-Star, it popped up a node setup screen that said this app contains a previous version of your node setup that appears to be more up-to-date than that is installed on the node. Do you want to configure and use the app node setup, or configure and use those currently installed on the node? Choices being use app record or use node record. I haven't made any changes, but what is that telling me? I'm really not sure, and I don't know what to choose.
I don't know Steve, I don't know the direct answer there, but I did see something written on Node Ventures' website, and you might want to search through some of his blog articles about that. But there was a situation where it did talk about that. Basically, it has a configuration that it saves in the app, as well as one that's saved on the device itself, and that there was a situation when it could give you that message saying that the app had a down rev version of that. And I don't remember the details of it, but I would suggest going to the Node Ventures site and looking that up, because I know that was addressed there, and I thought that was kind of an odd situation, but I think he did describe what that was that caused that, what the remedy for that was. Anybody else have any more information about that for Steve? Come now, NN6H. I just saw somebody key up from the South Coast Reflector. We just got a little bit of a key up, no audio. One more time. Okay, I guess no other comments about that. So, Steve, I would, like I say, I did see something mentioned about that and about where the whole thing could be out of sync like that. And you might want to go to the Node Ventures site and review back through some of his blog articles on that. Back to you there, Steve.
Yeah, I will do that. And as usual, when going through Jerry's website and his FAQs and all of his posts, the answer to most questions are within his information, so I will take a second look at that. Thank you. KJ7RNB.
Yeah, you're right. Most of the information is there, just a matter of doing a search. And you can search the site. There is a little search thing at the top upper right corner that you can search. And but I remember that issue being mentioned, that where the app itself, and you kind of describe the app and how it stores information versus the what's on the server versus what's in the actual device, and where it can get out of sync like that. So, but I think, yeah, I want to find out what that is, and maybe let us know next time. All right, let me open up here for any more questions, comments, check-ins for the All Knows Net. This is Tom, NN6H, on Memorial Day.
KJ5, JNJ, Justin and Conroe. This is Kilo 6, Alpha November. Mike in Valley Springs with a question.
Okay, I got you there, Mike. K6AAN. I'll come back to you in a minute. And I had KJ5, and I didn't get the rest of the call there, but go ahead with your comment or question.
Yes, this is KJ5, JNJ, Juliet, November, Juliet, Justin and Conroe.
Yes, good evening, Justin. KJ5JNJ. What is your comment or question, or are you just checking in?
So I do have a question. I have a all-star node on, I don't know that it matters, but it's basically a Shari-Fi node. But anyway, my question is, I know how to configure the Wi-Fi so that the node will connect to Wi-Fi, but is there a way that I can configure it to connect to two different Wi-Fis depending on where I'm at? In other words, when I come into, or when I'm out in mobile, I'd like it to be on my phone's Wi-Fi, and when I get back home, turn that one off, and I'd like it to switch over to the home Wi-Fi. Is that possible?
I don't know, so let me clarify something here. Are you running ham VoIP or are you running AS3 for the operating system?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's ham VoIP.
Yeah, to my knowledge, and I'm not the expert on this, but I don't believe that you can specify multiple Wi-Fis in that. The Clear node has that ability, and I think that's something that they added on in the Clear node, the Clear node that's running ham VoIP. I know that ASL3 version basically has the ability to do that, as well as becoming a hotspot if you have no Wi-Fi connection. Does anybody out there know about just the standard ham VoIP for like the Shari node? If you can somehow make it work and have it detect which Wi-Fi is present and have it select which one it wants to use?
WA5AR.
Yeah, WA5AR. Go ahead.
Yeah, he can, I heard he was running Hamburg. Yeah, I've got like 6 different Wi-Fis on mine. And yes, he can read up multiple Wi-Fis. It's really easy to do. Justin, you just need to get with me and I'll show you how to do it. But it'll connect to whatever Wi-Fi is the closest. If you've got your hotspot on, it'll connect to it. You come in the house and it'll connect to it. So I've got one of them that's got 6 or 8 different ones on it, but yeah, you can do multiple Wi-Fis on Hamburg with no problem. WA5AR.
Okay, very good. WA5AIR NN6H for the All Knows Net. All right, so it is possible then. So how do you actually enter the Wi-Fi values into that? I mean, how can you get multiple Wi-Fi SSIDs into the ham VoIP Wi-Fi file? Do you have to edit it directly?
No, you can just go to, you can putty into it. You'll come up with the menu, and you go down to, there's two of them there. There's one for Wi-Fi, there's one, for wired connection. All you gotta do is click on the one for Wi-Fi, and, I can bring it up on my computer. Anyway, you click on the one that shows Wi-Fi, and just follow the directions. If you already have one in there, do not clear the Wi-Fi out. Just click on it and scan and look for the Wi-Fi, and just add another one. Just do not hit clear. If you hit clear, it'll clear every Wi-Fi you have out in there. But you just add it. If he knows how to add a Wi-Fi already, all you gotta do is just add another one. And then you can, without getting really deep into it, you can go in and look at every one of them that's in there. And you can do all that right from putty with no problem.
Okay, very good there. Well, thank you for that information. So, Justin, what he's saying is you can go in to the admin, the menu thing when you do your Shari, if you were an SSH into it, or as he mentioned putty, but SSH into it. And in the Wi-Fi menu, it seems like you can add multiple Wi-Fis right there, and then that will select which one it finds when it does that. So does that make sense to you there, Justin? KJ5, JNJ, and then 6H.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. Thank you for running the net. Thank you for the whole concept of what you do here. It's pretty cool. And thank you, Charlie, for that information. Yeah, I think I know how to do it now, so I'm going to give it a try.
Okay, very good there, Justin. Yeah, I heard Patrick there come in there, so maybe Patrick has some other information. N2DYI and N6H, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. Reflective Memorial Day, all. Just to add to what Charlie said, you can easily add as many networks as you want through the menu, but what you can't do in ham VoIP is set priority to those networks. If you, for example, I have a setup where I want my node to always connect to my phone hotspot when I'm at home if it detects that the phone is sharing its hotspot. Usually I do that for diagnostic purposes. So if you manually edit the WPA supplicant file, you can set the priority for each network, and the way you do that is each network in the file has a stanza, basically, and you can add priority equals and a number to the end of each network. The higher the number, the more likely it is to try to connect to that network. So when you add networks, by default, they all have the same priority. So you may or may not need that level of granularity, but if you do need it, then you have to manually edit that file. It's in the /etc/WPA_supplicant directory in 2DYI, just to add a little more.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, I actually learned something. I didn't realize that ham VoIP had that for multiple Wi-Fis. I know that ClearNode supports that, and ClearNode added the priority that you had mentioned. You can do that from the ClearNode app. So that's pretty cool. So that means that that's supported internally to the Wi-Fi configuration file. Justin, do you have any questions for Patrick about that? KJ5, JNJ, and N6H.
I do not have any further questions, but I thank you very much for that information, Patrick. And yeah, that's very helpful. I'll remember that, and if it comes up, if I come up with a need for it, I will use that priority system. So thank you again, and this is KJ5JNJ. Back to the net.
Okay, very good there, Justin. Yeah, I've actually gone in there and actually changed mine so that gives my hotspot on my cell phone a higher priority. So if I need to actually override what's done there, it works, and it actually worked quite well. So especially if you're having problems with your home Wi-Fi and you want to force it to phone stuff. All right, very good. Well, thank you, and thank you, Patrick, for that information. Also, Charlie, thank you for that information. Definitely appreciate it. All right, this is Tom and 6H. This is the All Knows Net, the Memorial Day version of it. Who else is out there for? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mike. I almost skipped over you there. K6AAN. You had a question, and then 6H.
Well, good evening, everybody on the net. No problem, man. I'm around for the duration. I just wondered if anybody has seen any formal instructions come out from Jerry or otherwise about how to connect the ClearNode to the SIP phone. I saw that got added on the last update, but no instructions from Jerry that I could find. Only like a cautionary statement that you may get kicked off certain nodes when they sense it's attached to an SIP phone for some reason. So we're looking for any possible info on that, Tom. Back to you. This is K6.
Tom, I got a comment.
Okay, go ahead there, Charlie, WA5AIR.
Yeah, I didn't know if I know y'all out in California, but I didn't know if y'all knew, if either of y'all knew W2HR, Harold. He's actually from Grand Pass, Oregon. But I just want to let everybody know if y'all knew him, he passed away here a few days ago. He's a good friend of mine. I got to know him real well. He lives Grand Pass, Oregon, but he knew a lot of people out there, right? So what? I just wanted to pass that along to you. That's it. WA5AR, Montgomery, Texas.
Okay, Charlie. What was the call sign again of the gentleman in the W2 in Grand Pass, Oregon?
Yeah, it's Whiskey 2 HR. W2HR. Is this so?
Okay, yeah, W2HR, Whiskey 2 Hotel Romeo. Okay, well, sorry to hear about his passing. Silent key there, and anyway, our condolences go out to his family. All right, well, thank you for that there, Charlie. All right, let me turn over to Patrick here. So Mike was asking the question about the SIP, and yeah, I saw that too. I didn't see any real information on that. It looked like it was pretty self-evident of at least how to enable passwords and all that stuff in the app itself. But I know that I asked that question 2 weeks ago, and Patrick had mentioned that there's some apps out there on Windows and Mac and stuff for that. So, Patrick, can you shed some light there for Mike, N2DYI, and N6H?
Just got back in the room. What's the question?
The question was from Mike, K6AAN. He saw, he has a ClearNode, and he saw the announcement 2 weeks ago that Jerry had added a SIP menu in connection to the ClearNode, and he wanted to know how to actually use that, or I guess how to connect it to something, and maybe you could offer that.
Oh man, I don't want to mess with that one on the ClearNode since I don't have the context. I don't know exactly how it works, but in general, basically what you do is you set up, I guess, the credentials as required in your SIP phone, point it to the IP address of your node, and then dial an extension. And then once you dial that extension that's registered and your phone picks up, then you can use your node through the SIP phone using *99 to key the node up and then pound to let go of the key. The SIP, though, if you want to use it outside your network, there's a bunch of things to worry about. RTP and SIP ports and all sorts of things get pretty hairy.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's something that would be used probably more on your internal network. So there are apps like for the Windows and for Mac that would actually, and maybe for the phone, that would actually be like a SIP client that would allow you to connect into the clear node?
Yeah, there's Zoiper for iOS and Android, and there's Acrobit's Groundwire and Softphone for iOS, and there's a bunch of clients. Windows, you have MicroSIP and Phonar Lite, and then if you have a hardwired SIP phone like a Polycom or a Snome or a Yealink or whatever, then you could also use that. But yeah, I really don't like messing with SIP configurations outside of networks. It's so much easier to run things through VPNs. A lot of routers tend to mess that up, but it's easier to do it internally. But if you do want to go outside your network, then you have to take a few things into consideration. So that's the general outline. Basically, in order for SIP to work properly outside the network, you have to have the SIP port, whatever that is. Usually it's 5060, and you can change that, and you probably should change that. And then you also have to have a range of RTP ports. Those are all UDP. If you're inside your network, you can do all that internally.
Okay, yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm looking up at the All-Star setup inside of the ClearNode app, and there's a SIP phone setup that has an enable button, has an extension which is defaulting to 501, SIP user 501. You enter your password, the area code defaults to 415, and then you can enable Vox. So it's not like it's meant to be used with one of the clients here. Anyway, put it over to Mike in case you have any questions maybe for Patrick, or maybe if you're more confused. K6 SSN, or AAN, and 6H.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate the information. Yeah, it is complicated. These phones have got a million different things in there. And just figure out what some of these numbers are here and give it a try. But yeah, I appreciate that. Give me a couple things to look at here before I turn this thing on.
Yeah, I think the easiest thing for your mic is to actually do it internally. On the same, have on your device, whatever, your Windows machine or your phone or something on the same network as your ClearNode, and that would probably be the easiest way to play with that. Yeah, hopefully, typically when Jerry Philby announces these things, he comes out with more information and kind of gives you more step by step. So I haven't actually searched his website to see if he's added more information, but I just saw that kind of short thing like, okay, well, here's SIP. It was added to the thing, so good luck. Anyway, thanks for the question there, Mike, and let us know what you find and what the results are. Maybe you come back next week. All right, this is Tom, NN6H. This is the All Knows Net on the W6EK repeater. And who else has a question, comment, or maybe just a check-in for the net on Memorial Day, NN6H? Okay, this may be a shortened version of the All Knows Net. Patrick, N2DYI, maybe I'll put it over to you if you're still back in the room there. Anything to maybe mention or any news coming out? I announced at the beginning that for some reason connect or disconnect before connect is broken, I guess, in the current release of the ASL3 for the clear node, and I guess there's some configuration change or something, some change in ASL3 that caused that. So I guess looking at maybe having that changed in ASL3 as well as maybe Node Ventures having a change to support that. So, but otherwise, I guess ASL3 is available for the clear node.
Yep, so the context behind that was last weekend, not this past weekend, but the one before that. Jerry Philby posted to the ASL3 list, and he said something to the effect of the iLink 6 command was not working as expected. iLink 6 is what Jerry uses. Well, it's the standard for disconnecting from all connected nodes. And turns out there's a bug in ASL3, and it's one of those things that nobody really... And what essentially is happening is the command that he's been using forever and ever, amen, to do that in ham VoIP just doesn't work in ASL3 unless you specify something. So the iLink 6 command, looking for an extra argument that actually doesn't need to exist. What you're supposed to do is just send an iLink 6, nothing else, and that drops all your nodes. And what you actually have to do in ASL3 for some odd reason is do an iLink 6 star, and then it works. So that's a bug that's being addressed in the next version probably of ASL3. In the meantime, I guess maybe, perhaps, depending on how long it takes for that release to come out, then Jerry can work around that. That same thing will also work, even though it's kind of superfluous, you can also do that on ham VoIP. So if for some reason that code change gets pushed, it'll work on both. But that's just a thing that somehow slipped through the cracks.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for that. And so iLink 6 with a star after it makes it work. Okay. Well, I guess that's probably something easy for Jerry to add there, and it wouldn't really affect anything afterwards. Okay. Well, thank you for the context for that. So very good. Do you have any other topics maybe you want to discuss tonight for the all nodes? It's kind of slow.
I don't really have anything. I'm not really keeping up too much with the very latest cutting edge of what's going on in the alpha stuff. The next builds of the beta of ASL3 are not out yet. Usually they have a couple of 2 weeks or 4 week cycle. So there are a bunch of commits and PRs and things like that, more bug fixes with AppRPT, the AppRPT module that I see on GitHub that are probably going to be addressed, one of those being the iLink 6 thing. Other than that, I really don't have too much. I guess the big news was that over the period from Friday to Saturday, one of the ASL registration servers went locked up and broke and messed up some registration stuff. And most of that affected randomly, and this node here, 51018, was affected. The web transceive functionality was not working because the web server was just not responding, and so therefore it couldn't validate. It couldn't actually validate the call signs or the call tokens of remote web transceive connections. And so that was broken for a little over 24 hours, I think about 30 hours before somebody refixed that server. Just restarting the server fixed it. So that was a fun little reminder that sometimes it's not you, it's them. N2DYI.
Question, W6H.
Yeah, go ahead, Ryan, with your question, W6H.
If you're running ASL3, will it automatically update because it's already connected to the internet? And it would seem to make sense.
Nope, that's a manual process.
Bummer. Thanks.
Oh, you wouldn't be saying that if you updated to the build from about a month ago automatically. That's definitely not something I would want to happen without intervention.
got my answer. Back to you, Tom. Thank you. Have a great net, WU6H.
Okay, very good there, Ryan. Well, I mean, that's actually a good question. Yeah, I've actually seen on the page there where you have to actually manually update things. So, yep, unfortunately, it does not automatically update. But if you get a clear node, then clear node will actually give you a prompt saying that there's a new version available and you should update. Anyway, just some little difference between the clear node and what they do there, and also on the standard builds there. All right. Well, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, I know we had that issue come up. I think it was on Saturday. Yeah, we thought that something was wrong with our node and such, where we weren't accepting web transceive stuff, but it turned out when you actually looked in the CLI, the command line interface, it was actually, whenever somebody tried to connect in on a web transceive, it was actually throwing up the HTML style sheet, CSS code, which was very bizarre. And then there was also a kind of a title. The title of that whole thing was server failed, or server failure or something like that. Anyway, but thank you for pushing that, and yeah, it took them a while to realize, well, maybe the problem is on our side and not just everybody else that's telling us there's a problem. All right, well, thanks for that, Patrick, and thanks for all that you do for helping our system here. All right, this is Tom. This is the All Knows Net, and we will. This is Memorial Day, so it's been kind of a quiet day, but I'll take more questions, comments, or even check-ins for the All Knows Net and N6H.
One more comment and 2 DYI.
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, just to mention, if you are running the Pi appliance, ASL3 Pi appliance, and you go to the cockpit, it will tell you that there are updates pending. So it's not quite the same as the clear node. You don't get automatically notified, but if you look on the page and you see that there are updates to any of the ASL3 packages, a lot of times you'll see kernel updates and operating system updates that aren't necessarily ASL3. Then you can update from that. And if you're not following the ASL community announcements where they post new releases, that's one way to know if there's something you need to care about. N2 DYI back.
Yeah, that is very true. If you go on ASL3, if you do the Copilot, you basically have to go in there and it will tell you that there are updates. Whereas on a clear node, the app itself, you go to the app like to connect or disconnect from a node, and it will give you an indication or a pop-up saying that there's an update there. All right, thank you for that, for clarification. And then I saw a KA2ING. I saw you key up there, so did you have a comment or a question?
Kilo Golf 9 Mike with a question.
Okay, very good, Frank. Yeah, let me get back to you in a second here. So KA2ING, I saw you key up. Did you have a question or a comment? Okay, no response. Yeah, go ahead, Frank. KG9M and 6H.
Good evening, Tom. Good evening, everyone. Kilo Golf 9 Mike with a comment, actually, not a question. I misspoke. And it goes back to Ryan's question and kind of what Patrick's just been talking about. If I understand Ryan's question correctly, he asked if the All-Star 3 nodes update themselves automatically, and I think to Patrick's point, you probably don't want to do that unless you really want to be an early adopter and just apply patches and updates as soon as they become available. Usually, like we wait a while and see if they worked well. But it is very simple, so I think you're pretty familiar with Linux and the command line, but for other folks, you just log into your ASL3 node, get to the root prompt, and then just issue a sudo apt update, apt upgrade, and the updates apply. And that's the beauty of ASL3, is that you shouldn't fear those updates usually. unlike the ham VoIP updates, which sometimes when you applied those, it would break a lot of things. Most of that problem has been resolved in the ASL3 builds. Kilo Golf 9 Mike.
Yeah, and I guess the one comment is that ham VoIP is not updated anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, but Copilot also shows you the updates too. So Copilot being more of the visual interface. I saw WA5AIR West Coast or South Coast Reflector key up. Do you have a comment?
Tom, it's actually called cockpit.
I think that's somebody trying to cause interference, and I'm taking care of it on this end. WA5AIR.
Yeah, I'm sorry, WA5AIR. I actually double with you. Go ahead with your comment again or question.
Yeah, I was just saying that somebody down in the Houston area trying to cause malicious interference, but I'm taking care of it on this end, just so I'd let you know.
Okay, very good there. Thank you, Charlie, for doing that. Okay, yeah. So I stand corrected there. Yeah, yeah. Copilot yeah. Anyway, sorry about that for the interface for the ASL3. All right, KG9M. Frank, did you have anything else for the net tonight?
Just one comment. You know, I run the virtual nodes, and when I've configured two of those, the Copilot function doesn't exist for those two virtual nodes, I guess the way that I installed them. So if you build the virtual nodes and you don't have the Copilot, it's again very standard Linux commands to understand if there are packages that need to be updated, and it tells you exactly what those are. And I believe that's the sudo apt update that lists which packages need to be updated, and then you can either say yes or no. So it's very simple even without Copilot. Kilo Golf 9 Mike.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
All right, first of all, it's cockpit, not Copilot, and you won't get that if you build it, like Frank said. If you do a Pi appliance, though, that's a separate package. There's actually a package called ASL3 Pi appliance, and if you do a Raspberry Pi image, or if you specifically install that Pi appliance, then you also get the web manager. And it basically does what Frank said anyway. It's just the web version of that. It does all the sudo updates, apt updates, apt upgrade, apt updates. Just has a nice web interface, which is especially nice for network management, and even especially nicer if you need to do Wi-Fi management. That's pretty much all I got there, and 2DYI.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, it's cockpit versus Copilot. Yeah, maybe I got Frank saying the wrong thing too. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it sounds like you can do the web interface here, Frank, if you wanted to, by the ASL3 Pi appliance. Anyway, back to you for any last comments, Sir Frank. KG9M and then 6H.
I learn things when Patrick speaks, and I wasn't aware of that. I'm pretty comfortable with the command line, you know, but I may check that out. So thanks, Patrick, for mentioning that. Really do appreciate it. Kilo Golf 9 Mike, back to net.
Okay, very good there. Well, thanks, Patrick, and also Frank. So, Frank, I was curious there. So, what is your criteria for doing the updates? You know, I don't know, like Windows, you know, has an update thing where you can actually delay it by a week or two, you know, type of thing. So you're not getting the most recent update. Do you look at the forums and then decide maybe a week or two after something's been updated to update your notes?
Yeah, I do wait, unless it's something critical. And then it's very easy, of course, just to re-image things. So if something terrible happens, it's pretty easy to recover from. The machines are specifically, they're virtual nodes that just have this image on them. So it's easy to roll back. And I think Vulture has the backup images that you can just basically reapply. So I'm not too concerned about these. But, yes, generally I'll wait a little bit. I'll listen to the All Nodes Net here, and hear if Patrick has any comments, which he's commented on a few of the updates to ASL3 over the past, 6 months or so. Do go to read the forums and, kind of a mixture of all of that. I usually wait a little bit, just to be sure. Kilo Golf 9 Mike.
Well.
Okay, very good. And yeah, just kind of, I guess maybe more of a comment as far as the clear node is concerned. I think that, that's all well and good what you do, and follow the forums, listen to this net, do all that stuff. A lot of other people may just want their node to work and not really worry about that stuff. So the clear node kind of offers kind of another alternative where they can, if something is working and embedded, then it will give it an update or tell that there's an update available. So that type of thing. So it's kind of two different worlds, but I think it's very good. Yeah, and also everybody should be listening to the All Nodes Net to get all the latest information. And do appreciate yourself and Patrick and others giving us the good information there, and the experts that are on what's available, what's been working, what's been broken, all that type of stuff. I think is great. All right, this is Tom, NN6H. So we're about 4 minutes away from our witching hour of ending the net, but I thought I was going to be ending the net actually 5 minutes into the net this evening, but we actually carried on the conversation for a long time here. All right, who else is out there for any questions, comments, or anything else for the net? NN6H.
This is Kilo 6 Lima November India K6 LNI Lancelot out of Hayward, California. Question and or comment.
All right, yeah, K6LNI, Hayward, I think probably the first time on the net. Yeah, what is your comment?
I've been listening here. I think I've listened to you before, and I got in working with an all-scan node, and I've been learning all this stuff, so I learned how to do terminal the very first time, and it seems that when I need to get on and turn on my node, and it seems that I have to go to terminal, turn all that on, and I just got learn how to do, what's that, Almond 3, and it seems all this has to work in order to get that node working, so I can understand a lot of the things that you got to go through to get your node up and running and going. And then sometimes it'll work, and sometimes when you click on the node number, it won't work. So you go in and you start turning on stuff from Almond and all that. So yeah, it's a learning process. But the node that I got, all-scan node, oh, it works really nice. Very clear. I hear everybody real clear on this all-scan app and all-free. So it's come a long way. The hobby does. So I find myself trying to be patient a lot of times instead of getting all frustrated. Like a lot of people just want their nodes to work. K6LNI.
Okay, very good. Yeah, K6LNI and then 6H for the all nodes net. Well, yeah, you didn't mention what all-star node you had there, but you're using Almond 3. Yep, I mean, the nodes themselves should be pretty reliable and allow you to connect. You can also connect through DTMF tones. We don't recommend that for disconnecting, because if you're connected to a repeater or to a system, it will hear the tones coming across on that. So, did you have a question about why your node was not working, or are you just saying that you're enjoying the node itself?
Good evening. Degrees.
Well, there's a buzz there. Anyway, well, I have a question because every time I have to turn my node in order to get it to transceive and monitor and everything, and an all scan of the app that I have, and nothing happens. So what I have to do is go back into terminal and get what is that? I can't remember the name of it, but it's set up where you can go inside there. I got it set up to where I can go in and go to the terminal, and I had backup of the information that I had put in there, and there's a way to get back on and turn everything on so that it works properly and goes through Almond and ASL, backed up to ASL and on this app and through terminal, and then it works. It stays on the whole day. Once I turn it off for the day and I turn it back on, I have to repeat the whole process again. So it seems that's the way it is, unless I miss something in there in terminal where it just stays on and I don't have to go through the whole thing of doing it. Has anyone else been doing that? K6.
Welcome to the WA5.
Okay, well, first off is, yeah, you should not have to do that. I mean, you're actually turning your node off? Are you actually shutting down the node, or are you just turning power off to the node? But even if you turn off the node, it should come back up in the same configuration that you had before, unless you actually have a hardware problem there. But yeah, I mean, if you have what I do is I keep my node on 24 hours a day. I have a clear node, which is an all-star node, but I don't shut it off. But the recommended way to shut off a node is to go in and actually power down. There's if you do terminal in the menu and stuff, there is an actual way of shutting down the node gracefully so that it shuts things off. But so actually, how are you turning off the node itself?
I'm just now learning to do it, let's see, about a day ago now, so I turn it off. I used to just pull out the plug, and that was the only way to turn it off, but now I just DTMF and shut it down that way.
So you DTMF it to actually shut down the node, and then when you start up again, it does not come up to the previous configuration?
Yes, that's what it does now, or has been doing. But I just get it'll come on, and then it'll tone, and then that's it. And then when I open up an all-scan page, because that's what I usually use, the all-scan app, and when I start to go onto nodes and want to listen to stuff, yeah, it'll connect, probably 3-4 seconds, and then disconnect. It'll just drop it. So that's what my experience has been here lately. That's why when I turn it on every day, because sometimes I move it. A lot of times I'll move the whole thing. I'll put it in a work truck and do it that way through a wireless router, and find that I had a lot of success doing it. So, and even listening to the signals coming in and people talking, and also transmitting, yeah, it's been really nice. K6LN.
Okay. Well, I have not heard of your situation where it's not connecting like that, or where it connects and disconnects. That seems odd. You can go in if you do the terminal. You go there, the menu that comes up, and there is one that's called asterisk CLI, command line interface. If you actually run that while you try to connect, that will show you if there's any errors and stuff or what's going on there. But Patrick, N2DYI, are you been listening? Do you have any comments for?
The South Coast Reflector has been returned back to normal operation.
All right, check 1, 2, 3. Can I hear myself on my stream? All right.
Welcome to the WA5AIR repeater located in Conroe, Texas. For more information, go to southcoastreflector.com.
All right, I'm going to do a brief restart, like less than a minute, hopefully. So stick around, please. I'll see you in a minute.